Have any of you ever thought about what the proper etiquette while talking on the phone is? It is really something that just comes natural to most people. Today I want to touch base on 4 main points that I feel are very important while talking on the phone. To start, you want to make sure to have a pleasant greeting, talk with a smile, do not interrupt, and leave the caller satisfied. So to start, do not be rude when on the phone. So when you're answering, do not answer the phone like, "What do you want?" Instead, answer the phone along the lines of, "Hello, how can I help you?" I read multiple articles and they all basically stated the same thing. When your phone starts ringing, do not let it ring more than 3 to 4 times. The caller will think that you're ignoring them and then they'll just hang up. So once you've answered the phone, listen to your caller and see what the tone in their voice is. You can then tell if the caller is going to be irritated, and you can make sure to choose your words wisely to not irritate them any further. Another thing that you always want to keep in mind, because I know I've called places and you can tell that the specialist is chewing something on the phone or eating something, and I don't know about you, but that drives me absolutely insane. So I work at a call center, so I know there's always food around. So one tip is, if you're going to be eating at your desk, make sure to do so in between phone calls. After you've mastered your greeting, you want to make sure to learn to talk with a smile in your voice. So when you're answering the phone and talking to the customer, you don't want to ask them, "Is there anything else I can help you with?" Because they're going to think that you're just that irritated and you don't want to help them. So they're not going to ask you any further questions. They'll just hope that when they call back next time, they get a friendlier specialist. Instead, try and answer the phone, or try and end the phone call with, "Is there anything else I can help you with?" They're going to think that you truly are there to want to assist them, and they're going to ask you any questions without having to make that follow-up call. So according to an article I read, the smile in your voice is really the difference that the customer feels like you're there for them, that they're the most important person in the world, and that they can actually trust you. So it did take me a long time to learn to talk with a smile in my voice, but after practicing so long working where I do, it really just comes natural now. So talking with a smile is a very important thing to learn. Another thing that you want to always keep in mind is do not interrupt the customer. I know this is very difficult from personal experience to not interrupt them when they go on and don't let you get a word in, but it is all right. Just let them finish what they have to say and let them get everything out before you interrupt them and speak. I've had a very hard time personally learning how to do this because I'm the type of person where when I get something that pops into my head, I need to say it right then and there. I've gotten a lot better at this though throughout the years, where I am able to actually sit there and listen without interjecting what I have to say. So you basically just need to learn to be an outstanding listener and wait your turn. And I know a lot of times that is all the customer really wants anyway. This is really going to sound contradicting, but there may be certain times where it is okay to interrupt the customer and stop them from talking. Mainly what I mean by that is if the customer is going on, giving you all their personal information and you have no account to pull up or anything with that, at that point in time, it is all right. You need to stop the customer before they continue any further, and then they'll have to, and get their information later on where they'll have to repeat it again anyway. The last and truly most important thing about telephone etiquette is you want to make sure to leave the caller satisfied. So if there is a question that you're not able to answer at that point in time, make sure to let the customer know and assure them that you will get back to them, and let them know an approximate time as to when you will be getting a hold of them. Or another thing you can do is ask the customer if it's okay to place them on hold to ask other customer specialists and see if they have any idea the answer. Do not put the customer on hold without asking first, because they may think you just hung up on them. So the other thing you'll want to make sure to ask is verify that the customer doesn't have any further questions. This will save an extra phone call down the road. So if the customer does not have any extra questions, just make sure to end the call basically the same way that you started, with a friendly greeting and a smile in your voice, and let them know that they can call back at any time if they have any further questions. I've definitely been lucky to work in a call center for so long to get to know the proper etiquette over the telephone. Today I've touched base on 4 major points that I want to recap here quick. So you want to make sure that you answer the phone with a pleasant tone. You want to always talk with a smile. Do not interrupt the customer. And lastly, leave the caller satisfied. So talking on the phone to people every day is just pretty much an everyday piece of life for most people. Just always keep in mind one thing you've learned growing up: treat others how you'd like to be treated.